One of the things that I think you're going to really find out here tonight is really why America is so deeply divided. You know, I didn't know, even back in the 1990s, when I left my well-paying job and started doing what I'm doing right now, there was a deep division even there, but it's been made more apparent, obviously, since that time. And it was during that early part of the 1990s, I was leading a multi-million-dollar research effort in the effects of global warming on our nation's ecosystems, as well as acid rain. And when we had completed, the federal government had done about $5 billion of research. My organization had done several $1 million worth of research. The research was showing that there really was not man-caused global warming, nor was acid rain the so-called horrendous problem that was made to be out in the press. It was a problem and it needed to be corrected, all right, but not the draconian 1991 reauthorization of the Clean Air Act. The reauthorization of the Clean Air Act had nothing to do with research results and everything to do with politics. And when I saw that, I began to investigate what it was that was causing this agenda to be implemented. And I didn't have to dig very deep, neither do you, but what I found horrified me as I realized that we were basically moving towards a new religion and a world government. It had such an impact on me. My kids were out of college at that time, so I felt I had the time and felt led I need to actually quit my job and try to help people understand what's going on. So that's really what started my great adventure and that brought me here tonight. Recently, in the last month or two, about 6 weeks ago, I published this book, Rescuing a Broken America, Why America is So Deeply Divided and How to Heal It Constitutionally. We are deeply divided, and there's a reason for it. In fact, it was deliberately done so. And it's important for us to realize that, to be able to put a framework together for us to understand what is happening so that we can confront it. And the first subject I'm going to be talking about in this first hour is the war of worldviews that has caused this deep division. And then the attack on property rights and why it's important for these people to attack private property rights. Smart growth fraud. Here in Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, and other places in many other cities around the country are implementing smart growth, and people are fleeing those cities. Agenda 21, because most of what we're seeing here happening in our local communities has its origins in Agenda 21. How did it get here? Who did it? How did it happen? The model of governance for the U.S. Constitution is founded on the principles laid down by John Locke in the 1700s. He wrote a number of theses and dissertations on the origins of government and the proper role of government in society. He had already experienced several centuries after the Magna Carta was written, people were able to own property, the average person was able to own property, and as a consequence, he saw what that had done for the British society. Frederick Bastiat, Frenchman, French legislator, was a disciple of John Locke. So was William Blackstone, the primary first writer of the law. Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, our founding fathers, and almost most of our founding fathers were students of John Locke. Thomas Jefferson basically penned these words, "It is not by the consolidation or the concentrations of powers, but by their distribution that good government is effected." Now, what did he mean by that? In the last 20, 25 years, you've heard repeated almost on a weekly basis that we must make government more efficient, allegedly so it can serve the American people. But I want to reinforce the idea here tonight that the only way the government can make itself more efficient is to take your freedoms and liberties away from you. Because to be efficient, it has to have the power to tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It's the only way it can be efficient. And as a consequence, we have, for those of you who are old enough, probably understand this, you've seen it happen, but we have lost a tremendous amount of our freedoms here in the United States over the last 50 years.